Hello, friends. Let me see here if I'm in frame or if it's cutting off the top of my head or something like that. I'm a little late in starting tonight. I apologize to you for that. Let me see where I am here. Hey, it doesn't look too bad at all. Doesn't look too bad at all. Okay, so we'll keep going here. So I am John Weldy from Religious Recovery Indianapolis. Welcome to another episode of Religious Recovery Live. This is the last episode in our first series of Religious Recovery Live. And tonight I will be finishing this book. This book is Every Path Leads Home by Religious Recovery founder Wayne Holmes. It's called Every Path Leads Home, Opening to Your Spiritual Journey. This is kind of the foundational book of religious recovery. What is religious recovery? Religious recovery is a 12-step program, or actually a 13-step program, for people who have been hurt by religion or the religious. And basically we help people cope with the pains that they have felt. We are not anti-religious in any way. Some of us are still quite religious. It's just we have found a better way than what we have learned before. And so tonight I want to read the last two chapters from this book. It's a nice short book. I highly encourage you to get a copy of this book. The first chapter, chapter 14, is called Individual Worship. The progress of the world can certainly never come at all, save by the modified action of the individual beings who compose the world. George Eliot. A congregation of one. Church, synagogue, temple, mosque all bring to mind buildings where individuals go to worship. It may seem ludicrous to propose that these terms, as defined by the gathering of membership, could be held in private. I won't squabble over terms. I'll simply redefine this one to suit my needs. Individual worship, ceremonies, services, whatever term we are comfortable with, can and are being held by individuals. The 13-step concept presented in this work was patterned after 12-step programs. Why mess with the success? Some tweaking was done. We modified the steps to fit the subject matter, but the overall experience was set up to mimic a successful pattern. We now introduce a minor difference. The 13-step program of religious recovery was also set up to work for the individual who, for whatever reason, does not feel comfortable in a group setting. Just as I believe religious gathering, worship, spiritual enlightenment can be done alone, I believe healing from religious abuse can be accomplished by any individual who's willing to make the effort. Some may find the group setting the quickest route to recovery, but for others, the do-it-yourself home study kit works best. Simple steps to renewal. Following the 13 steps of religious recovery provides one road to healing. Once healing is undertaken, we offer a few simple steps for guidance. Yes, you may choose any religious path that feels right to you, but along any path that you choose, we offer these reminders. Do unto others. The golden rule applies to all roads. Buddhists call it karma. What you give out, you receive. Whatever title you name or whatever title or name you give, the principle remains the same. Do unto others as you want them to do unto you. Treat your brothers and sisters with respect. Show no favoritism, for all are creations of divine spirit. Tolerate and accept. Remembering that we are all family, we learn to tolerate our differences. Going deeper, we accept our differences as the things that make us unique, special, and fascinating. Instead of letting our differences separate us and pull us into conflict, we celebrate our differences and appreciate the fact that we can learn from each other. Forgive. I make mistakes, way too many. But you make mistakes too. And with the golden rule, I forgive your mistakes, and I hope you will forgive mine. When we forgive, we receive. When we receive, we give. The circle envelops each and all of us in love. Love and embrace. We repeat what was said in an earlier chapter because it's important. Tolerance, acceptance, and forgiveness clear the way to embrace and love. The goal of religious belief is love. The essence of the divine is love. One word of caution is in order. Love can masquerade itself as religious deception. Love is such an attractive quality that people have been led into toxic systems such as we described with Jim Jones and the People's Temple. The quickest determination of deception is exclusivity. If the religious entity loves only its followers and is fearful of others, be wary. Apply the tests of tolerance and acceptance. Do they accept other paths, or do they believe that they are the only true believers? Always remember, God is too big to fit into one religion. Meditate, contemplate, and pray. These three spiritual practices form the foundation of spiritual observance. Practice them. Put them to use. Listen for direction, and learn to discern the difference between divine voice and your own ego. Read spiritual books from all faiths, as well as books that are not specifically religious. Cry the Beloved Country by Alan Paton, and To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee come to mind. Follow your path. Find the road that takes you home. Make it your path. Listen to the voices of the masters who have gone before, but remember that they followed the inner voice of the divine GPS, which told them when and where to turn, and when they missed a turn, the divine gently nudged them into the right direction. Chapter 15, Going Home. Now this chapter is a little bit different. It has some prose in it, but a lot of it's kind of like appendices, but it's kind of a summary of the entire book. So here we go. Chapter 15, Going Home. God is at home, it's we who have gone out for a walk. Meister Eckhart. As a child living at home with my parents and brothers, I didn't appreciate home until we were gone for a long period of time. Every summer we packed the car and drove from Cincinnati to Big Stone Gap, Virginia, to visit my maternal grandmother, great-grandmother, and other friends and relatives in the area. Dad grew up in coal mining country on the other side of Black Mountain. After we visited Mom's people, we crossed the mountain, occasionally stopping at the top to admire the view. Getting back into the car, we crossed the state line and passed into Kentucky as we snaked our way to the bottom. Tires screamed as my dad, accustomed to the road he had driven hundreds of times when he courted Mom, sped around hairpin turns. We begged him to slow down. By the end of the week, our adventure had grown old and we were ready to head home. With no interstate highways in those days, our trip took 8 to 10 hours. Patience was not a virtue 3 restless boys possessed. Finally, after 300 "are we there yet" questions, half a dozen restroom breaks, and 40 threats that started with "don't make me stop this car," we topped a hill in northern Kentucky, and we finally saw the Ohio River and the Cincinnati skyline. I looked for that skyline. I loved seeing the tall buildings and the bridge that would lead home. We still had about 30 minutes before pulling into our driveway, but we were close. When we finally made it home, I sighed. It was still there. Still standing strong and warm and inviting. The trip had tried us, and we wanted to enter and relax, sleep in our own beds, rise to the familiar sounds of the house, and return to family life. The house had not changed, or moved, or disappointed us in any way. I love Meister Eckhart's quote, "God is at home, it's we who have gone out for a walk." We are the ones who have left home. We are on a spiritual adventure, a journey on this planet to explore the wonderful things provided. Deep within, however, lurks a sense that we have left our real home. We are on vacation, away from the intimate presence of divine spirit as we once knew it. In our hearts, we know that once this adventure ends, we will return to where we began, to home and to love. God is home. We are in the process of going back to Him. It's been a fun journey, but the reunion will be greater for having been away. We are children of the divine supreme being. He will not let His children lose their way. I'm tired and I'm heading home. Are we there yet? The question comes again for the 301st time. No, not yet, but soon. Not much longer. Soon we'll see familiar scenes and know the journey is almost over. We'll know it in our hearts, and when we arrive, all we'll want to do is rest, relax, and sleep for a long, long time. I'm looking forward to it, and I'll see you at home. The 13 steps of religious recovery. Number 1, we recognized we were hurt, disappointed, or abused by religion or the religious. Number 2, come to believe that the divine has no religion, is greater than religion, and can heal us from our hurts. Number 3, recognize that we are spiritual beings and decide to turn our lives over to that which is greater than self, referred to in these steps as the divine. Number 4, accept that this higher power is understood in different ways and by different names in various religions and cultures, and open our lives to hearing the divine voice in any way it chooses to communicate to us. Number 5, share our struggles with others of like-mindedness, trusting our anonymity will be guarded by all. Number 6, take inventory of ourselves to discover any way in which we have hurt, disappointed, or abused anyone by our religious beliefs. Number 7, choose to forgive those who hurt us in the name of religion. Number 8, seek forgiveness from those we have hurt, unless doing so would cause further harm. Number 9, forgive ourselves for all harm we may have caused, even if it was well intended. Number 10, seek tolerance, and when possible, accept all religious faiths without judgment. Number 11, seek through prayer, meditation, and contemplation to improve our relationship with the divine, praying for clarity of mind, an open heart, and further ways to heal ourselves and our world from the abuses of religion. Number 12, having recognized the difference between religion and spirituality, we strive to be true to the spirit within all of divine creation and to be a light to point the way. Number 13, we follow the principle that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. The witness of our lives is the only message we need to carry to others. The 13 stones of religious recovery. Spiritual growth is a destination achieved by an active process. For that reason, we use active verbs to highlight the 12 stones. Number 1, assert. I assert that I am responsible for my own spiritual path. Number 2, open. I partake of spiritual wisdom and knowledge from a variety of sources and open myself to different insights. Number 3, question. I question every experience, all information, personal motives, mine and others, including the ideas presented by religious recovery. Number 4, discern. It is my responsibility to discern what works for me and what does not, always remembering that what may not resonate with me today may resonate at another time. Number 5, connect. Not only will I try to discern through mental activity, but I will also discern by connecting with the divine through prayer, meditation, and contemplation. Number 6, be. Letting go of past hurts, disappointments, and abuses, and letting go of future plans and expectations, I resolve to live in the present moment and simply be. Be present, be open, be available, be with higher self. Feel. I allow myself to feel. My emotions are part of my being. By allowing myself to feel, I heal and grow. Number 8, release. After experiencing all feelings, I release any emotions I deem harmful to my spiritual path. Number 9, transform. By changing my thoughts, I transform my life. I choose to change my thoughts concerning past experiences that hold me in pain. I choose to see them from a higher perspective. Number 10, harmonize. I look for the harmony in all spiritual belief systems and seek to add my voice to the music of the earth. I seek peace with all people and with myself. Number 11, laugh. I choose laughter as the notes of my song. This temporal life is a journey to be enjoyed. I look for the comedy in situations, and I learn to laugh at my own comedy of errors. Number 12, thank. I am grateful. Gratitude helps me bring out the positive in my life and also makes room for the divine to bring additional positive situations, people, and spiritual experiences into my life. I thank those who have guided me on my path. Number 13, love. I learn to deepen my ability to love when I learn to tolerate, accept, embrace, and forgive. I choose to employ these attributes to my spiritual walk, to my personal relationships, and to my worldview. Additional reading. This book and its companion works were designed to help facilitate healing at home, in a group, or on retreats. These works are certainly not exhaustive or extensive, and this glossary of other titles was added, in the hope that one or more of the titles may be helpful. One author in particular approaches the subject from a Christian viewpoint. Why did Jesus, Moses, the Buddha, and Muhammad cross the road? Christian Identity in a Multi-Faith World by Brian D. McLaren. Although this is the only title I've listened to by Brian D. McLaren, he seems to be leading the way of Christian tolerance. He may be one of the few writing about it, but the crowd of those encouraging religious tolerance is growing. Other books for additional reading. There's a list here. Titles printed by Religious Recovery Press. One of those titles is Wayne's book, Set Your Course, which I have right here. It's a little bit longer book. It's designed to be a kind of a daily reading type book that you can read a little part of every day. And this book is going to be, after this, I told you this is the last week that we're going to be doing Religious Recovery Live. This book is going to be the next thing that we're going to be doing like this, and I believe what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing it as a podcast. It's going to be very different from what we've done with Religious Recovery Live. It's not going to be video, it's going to be audio only. You'll be able to subscribe to it on iTunes or other places where you can get podcasts, or we will make it available on the Religious Recovery website also, that you can download individually or just listen to on the Religious Recovery website. And it'll be a lot of short little audio clips that you'll be able to listen to on a daily basis. Other books in the recommended series. Why Did Jesus, I already read that one. Take Back Your Life, Recovering from Cults and Abusive Relationships by Janja Lalich and Madeline Tobias. Oh man, he's going to hurt me with names here. I'm going to pronounce a bunch of these wrong. I'm sorry. Crisis of Conscience, abridged for e-reader devices by Raymond Franz. Jesus and Lao Tzu, The Parallel Sayings by Martin Aronson. Jesus and Buddha, The Parallel Sayings, edited by Marcus Borg. Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, and Lao Tzu, The Parallel Sayings by Richard Hooper. Return to the Sacred Ancient Pathways to Spiritual Awakening by Jonathan H. Ellerby, Ph.D. Celebration of Discipline by Richard Foster. Bhagavad Gita for Beginners, The Song of God in Simplified Prose by Edward Vilosian. A Course in Miracles by Helen Schumann. A New Earth, Awakening to Your Life's Purpose by Eckhart Tolle. The Power of Now, A Guide to Spiritual Enlightenment by Eckhart Tolle. And Living the Wisdom of the Tao, The Complete Tao Te Ching Affirmations by Dr. Wayne W. Dyer. How to run a religious recovery meeting. All religious recovery groups are autonomous, and as such there is no one specific way to lead a meeting except as established by individual gatherings, but a few suggestions might make for a smoother experience. Individual gatherings, or individual meetings attempted through trial and error to find what works best for their gatherings, keeping in mind the fluidity of life and the need for flexibility. Moderators. Leaders may be used to oversee the meeting, but the moderator does not dominate the group. He or she allows others to speak and does not have to have a voice to comment after every speaker. The moderator does not need to share more than anyone else in the group and in fact may speak less. Silence. Many people feel uncomfortable when a lull in sharing occurs. Silence should be viewed as a time to reflect on what has been said and a time to consider whether or not you want to share with the group. No one need to feel pressure to share. However, if silence continues for about 45 seconds, the moderator might want to pose a question to the group or briefly share a personal experience. Listen to your inner guidance and do what feels right to you. Theme meetings. Meetings are open to any religious recovery topic or theme, and quite often these themes are pulled from the 13 Steps, 13 Stones, and other religious recovery suggested readings. Reading of the 13 Steps and or 13 Stones. Some meetings may choose to read the 13 Steps or the 13 Stones. This can be done by one individual as a group or by taking turns reading one step or stone at a time. Donations. Religious Recovery is not at this time a nonprofit organization. Donations, I think, Wayne, you might want to clarify this. Is that different right now? Are we a 501c3 now? Donations are accepted to cover the cost of expenses, but donations are not tax deductible. We will apply for nonprofit status soon and will update the website accordingly. Excess funds not needed to support the local meeting may be contributed to the Religious Recovery Parent Group to cover expenses such as the cost of literature, advertising, and space rental. Opening and closing. There is no formal way to open or close a meeting. We do not recommend the reading of scripture, such as the Lord's Prayer taken from Christianity, unless other meetings use something similar from other world religions. The concept of inclusiveness is at play, and to use a reading from only one world faith excludes all others. Generic opening or closings may be used so long as care is taken to offend no one and be at peace with all. I've written simple statements I hope will not offend anyone, but please feel free to formulate your own. If you do, I'd like to encourage you to send me a copy at wayne@religiousrecovery.org. Suggested opening. I am part of divine creation. I honor all my brothers and sisters. I honor their roads and their beliefs and will endeavor to share loving acceptance with all I meet. As we share our journeys, we learn from one another. May the divine guide us and always be at our side. Suggested closing. We are the children of love. Let us love our brothers and sisters here and everywhere. Slogans. As the program grows, slogans will emerge to meet the needs for concise pieces of advice, but here are a few that might provide helpful. Modified serenity prayer. Divine Spirit, grant me the serenity to accept the people I cannot change, the courage to change the one I can, and the wisdom to know that one is me, author unknown. Leave your religion at the door. Modified 12-step slogans. Number 1, take what resonates with you and release what no longer leads you home. Number 2, if religion fails, return to spirituality. It will lead you home. Anonymity. The concept of anonymity should be addressed, especially when visitors are present. Attendees are encouraged to use first names, initials, or pen names. The use of titles such as reverend, pastor, priest, shaman, or monk are also discouraged. Naming specific religious gatherings, denominations, or world religions is generally avoided. Crosstalk. Someone may attend a meeting with a situation in which they feel a need for an immediate answer. The tendency of the group may be to solve the problem, but care needs to be taken not to overwhelm the individual. Giving specific advice is strongly discouraged. Speak from the first person using I, me, or my statements, and avoid you, your, or we statements. Avoid eye contact and simply share your story and the things you found to be helpful. Because communication is more than the words we say, be careful to avoid offensive body language such as rolling the eyes, shrugging, dismissive glances, or touching someone. If you need to, keep your eyes focused on your lap, or if seated around a table, focus on a spot on the table. Sometimes things don't resonate with people because they're not in a place to receive the message, or the message simply doesn't apply to their particular situation. At all times, we want to create a safe atmosphere. Do not judge, condemn, or guilt another verbally, mentally, or emotionally. The golden rule is our guide when it comes to crosstalk. Our modified version states, treat others as you would have them treat you. Further reading describing the importance of the no crosstalk rule can be found at the Codependence Anonymous website, codawa.org. Humor. Laughter is encouraged at meetings. Humor has healing qualities that promote participation and a lighthearted approach. If you can laugh at it, you can live with it. Remember, we don't laugh at individuals, but with them. Learning to laugh at ourselves and our situation brings healing laughter into play. Newcomers guidelines. Relax, take it easy, and enjoy your experience. You are welcome to participate in the meeting, but don't feel obligated. We may be traveling different paths, but we believe our destination is the same. We hope to learn from each other, grow together, and avoid the pitfalls along the way. Welcome to the journey. What to expect. Each group develops a format that meets the needs of its participants. Because religious recovery meetings are autonomous, you might find different things occurring at different meetings. So here is a list of things you might or might not discover. Someone usually volunteers to serve as a moderator for the meeting. Moderators may read an opening and/or invite those present to read along. They usually introduce themselves and often invite those present to do the same thing, using first names, initials, or pen names only. They may go over these guidelines or a different set of guidelines created especially for their group. A reading of the 13 steps and/or the 13 stones might be given. A topic for the gathering may be introduced, or the meeting may be open to any subject. Most meetings last about an hour. An opportunity to donate may be presented, but this is strictly voluntary. No membership dues are required and no suggested donation amounts are given. If participants wish to support the work of religious recovery, we ask that they do so willingly. A closing may also be read, and participants can be invited to join hands and repeat it together. Laughter is not mandatory, but highly encouraged. A final word or two from the author. I am pro-religion. I hope that came through. Much of what you've read reflects my own journey. I'm not perfect, and my decision to share suggests I'm struggling to find my way. I wrote not as an expert, but as a fellow traveler. If you want someone to tell you exactly what to do, when to do it, and how to do it, then this book probably wasn't for you. I don't want to be a spiritual guru, and I doubt that will ever be a possibility. If I came across as too preachy or authoritarian, I apologize. I wanted you to think for yourself and discover your own way home. Maybe some of my words opened your eyes to angels in disguise, to roads that have grown over from lack of traffic, or to spiritual practices you may have overlooked. Forgive me, too, if I picked on Christianity too much, because I was born into a Christian family. It's the religious path I know best. You might also feel that some of the writing doesn't support the claim that I'm pro-religion, but it's true. All of a sudden, I feel as if I'm a pimple-faced teenager again, thinking up every possible reason why a girl wouldn't want to go out with me, and remembering how when I finally screwed up enough courage to approach a girl, I'd say, you wouldn't want to go out with me, would you? I feel like that pimple-faced kid again, except this time I'm not seeking a date with a girl, but a date with a reader. I began with the same mistake I made years ago. I'm not an expert. I'm struggling to find my path. I'm apologizing now in case I sounded too preachy or too negative about religion. But I hope you discovered my approach refreshing. I've heard plenty of religious authorities try to pound their beliefs into the head of their listeners. I want to whisper in your ear. Maybe they're right, but maybe they're wrong. Ponder for yourself, and then tell me what you think. Maybe they're a little right and a little wrong. Not everything in life is black and white. Let me expand on my earlier statement. I am pro-religion, but I am even more pro-spirituality. At times it seems religion and spirituality oppose each other. That doesn't need to be the case. Spirituality is personal, religion is communal. Can a person be spiritual without being religious? Absolutely. Can a person be religious without being spiritual? Unfortunately, that answer is also yes. Given the choice, I prefer spirituality over religion. In an ideal world, we can have both. One can complement the other, which was one of the goals of this book. But perhaps the main goal of the book was to help you heal from religious abuse and to broaden the view of religion to one of greater understanding, an understanding that there is more than one path that leads home. All roads home are fraught with challenges. When we refute the paths of others, we alienate them from the help we can offer and also the help we can receive from them. Therefore, I set out 3 goals for this book, not necessarily in order of importance, to show that, number 1, religion and spirituality can work together. 2, healing from religious abuse can be accomplished through spirituality. 3, all paths lead to the divine. I use the expression the divine to represent that which is greater than self, beyond self, eternal, and nameless. Though the divine is nameless, we have given it many names in order to know to some degree what or who we are talking about. Some call it God, the I Am, Buddha, Allah, the Great Spirit, Eternal Life Force, Holy Spirit, Divine Spirit, Mother Earth, and so on. Some are offended by the word God because they believe it only refers to the Christian deity. Those who grew up in a Western culture may be offended by the name of the Hindu gods, or Allah, or the ways in which American Indians refer to the elements as gods, but they need to remember that the references may be to the same deity. Gandhi said, and I believe, God has no religion. Though it may have appeared we were heading in different, even opposite directions, I hope you can see we were all trying to reach the same place, home. I wish you peace, joy, and love on your journey. Let's share our hopes and dreams. Let's share any help or guidance we acquire on our trip. Let's make peace, do no harm, and play nice together. I wish you only the best as you awaken to your most fabulous adventure. And that is the end of our book. Once again, the book is called Every Path Leads Home by Wayne Holmes, Opening to Your Spiritual Journey, published by Religious Recovery Press. Religious Recovery has a few different books that you can order. They're all available on Amazon, and you can order them in paper form or you can order them in Kindle format. So I'm going to bid you adieu here. Just a couple things here at the end, like I mentioned in the middle of the video. The next thing we're going to be doing, this is the last time that we will be doing a live video on Wednesday evening, because I'm through this book right now, and you can go back and if there's ones that you've missed, you can go back and watch them. They're all available here on the Facebook page. If you want more information about religious recovery, the main thing that we do, we have several resources that you are welcome to partake in, but the main thing that we do is we have these religious recovery meetings as a 12-step meeting for people who have been hurt by religion or the religious. And right now we have physical meetings in Indianapolis and in Cincinnati. We also have somebody willing to mentor one-on-one in Columbus, Ohio. If you're not in one of those locations, but religious recovery sounds interesting to you, then just leave some comments at the bottom of this video right here. Leave some comments here, and we will get information to you. Or you can go to religiousrecovery.org. That's religiousrecovery.org, and the information that you will need is there on how to participate in a religious recovery group. Because we also have tried some virtual groups. And we are more than happy to do that again, to provide help to anybody who wants help. And once again, it's not about what we give you. It's not about, oh, we know everything and you need help because you're a hurting person. That's not what religious recovery is about at all. We are a 12-step program, and we realize that everybody is in a place where your journey is important. And you have pain to share, and you have knowledge to share also. You can help somebody else, and you can be helped by somebody else. We're all in it to help each other. So with that, I am going to bid you a fond farewell. My name, once again, is John Weldy, and I'm from the Indianapolis chapter of Religious Recovery. And I very much appreciate spending this time with you. Thank you.